offense has it 1st and 10. They'll run for the first time with Lacey. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And defensively, here are the starters for the Atlanta Falcons. And this is a group that has a lot of youth. 7 of the starters, either 1st or 2nd-year guys, and boom, they're going to be playing in a Super Bowl.
And they fit perfectly with head coach Dan Quinn's scheme on defense and his collaboration with the front office of the Falcons to get younger and quicker on that side of the ball has propelled them to the Super Bowl. Think about Vic Beasley leading the league in sacks at outside linebacker, Keanu Neal as a safety, and Deion Jones can flat-out run in the middle. As we well know, there's no shortage of weapons for the Green Bay Packers, but I think Jared Cook's emergence this year was a big factor in them going from 4-6 and making the run they did to the NFC Championship game.
And with that emergence, you look at him, he's a free agent, turns 30 in April. They want this guy back, you would think.
I would think so, especially because the rapport between he and Aaron Rodgers got better and better as the season went on, culminating with that incredible catch in the game against Dallas in the playoffs.
So incomplete on first. Let's see what 2nd down has in store. Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. That is caught at the 7. And they do stop him, but he takes it all the way to the 2.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with...
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. Lacey taking it in from a yard out. And the Packers are within an extra point of tying this thing up. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away.
Matt Ryan was incredible against Green Bay, wasn't he? You talk about locked in, throwing the football. Just absolutely incredible. 4 touchdown passes and ran one in. And that put him in some pretty good company there for some other guys who've done the NFL playoffs.
Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, and then there's another one who's done it. Who's that?
Tobin Rote, 1957 Detroit Lions.
Yeah, so those guys, the only 4 with 4 touchdown passes and a touchdown run in the playoffs. Packer pressure, and down he goes. LaTroy Guion in there to sack him for a loss of 6. On 2nd down, Ryan caught on the right side by Jones. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. And a man, as we look at the starters now, a man who really has earned us talking about him in the booth, Julio Jones.
He's a 1,000-yard receiver each and every year. So sleek, so wonderful. I call him Secretariat.
And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And he's brought down. Give him 16 on the pickup. And it'll be 1st down Atlanta. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Throwing now, Ryan on 1st down. Caught by Jones.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind, partner, that he's one of the best receivers in the league, if not the best. And the argument's going to be short. It's a small sample. Julio Jones right there at the top because of his ability to do everything. Catch it, run it, his strength running patterns. How about the way he knocks people off of routes and continues them and finishes in the end zone?
He did all of that against Green Bay. A beautiful toe tap in the end zone for 1 touchdown. And then stiff-arming tacklers down the sideline. At 73 yards to the house, he was something.
And it's interesting you mentioned the toe tap. That people thought maybe his effectiveness would be limited because of a toe injury. We saw no ill effects against Green Bay in the NFC Championship game.
Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And as the Packers get set to come back out on offense, and Charles, I want to ask you a question. You can take it offensively or defensively for Green Bay as they look to next year. Where do they need to focus, draft and otherwise?
I think I'll start on the offensive side of the ball, and I think running back is going to be a position they have to address. No matter what they decide to do with Eddie Lacy, decide what they're going to do with Ty Montgomery, but get more running backs into the mix. I think offensive line, you always want to fortify that position. But flip it over to the defensive side, who's going to be the pass rusher besides Clay Matthews? Is Nick Perry still coming on? Do they have to draft someone else to help supplement Julius Peppers? In the secondary, they need corners that can cover. That's a big spot for them.
They go play action here on first down. Wide open receiver complete. One thing's for sure with Jordy Nelson, you can't fault his toughness. And we saw that on display in the NFC Championship game with that rib injury he played through.
To be honest with you, I didn't think he was going to play in the game. When I hear 2 cracked ribs, I just don't see that as a recipe for a guy being able to play wide receiver in a championship game. And he came back in about 2 weeks' time. You're exactly right. Excellent toughness, incredible toughness, and how about the production during the game? He was a factor, especially early.
Yeah, scored a touchdown, 67 yards as well. And now the offense operates in the red zone. They'll come out in the pistol. Rodgers again now. His throw caught right around the 6. And eventually brought down, but it's near the 5 at the 6.
And those first downs do add up. The offense keeps the ball moving downfield and keeps their defense on the bench, giving them a chance to rest.
Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Randall Cobb, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
And now it's second and goal. Now Rodgers will handle Lacy. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up third.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Call it no gain on the play, so no help there. And now 4th and goal.
Okay, offense, you've gotten down close, but it's still just the second quarter. I say take the 3 points. Plenty of game left to play.
The offense stays out there. A big challenge here from this far back, but they're going for it on 4th and goal. So with that, we come upon the 2-minute warning here on the NFL on EA Sports. The offense stays out there. A big challenge here from this far back, but they're going for it on 4th and goal. Rodgers to throw for it on 4th. That is caught by Cobb. And it's a Packer touchdown. Randall Cobb from 6 yards away. And the Packers are within an extra point of tying this thing up. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. So we're right back where we started. All even as the kick's away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line. And the gears will shift here as Atlanta will take over on offense. And speaking of gear shifting, a new change in Atlanta. They're going into a new stadium next year. But What a way to say goodbye to the Georgia Dome, huh?
They closed it out in the style that they wanted to, and the way that they played throughout the 2016 season. And I go back to when they opened it up in preseason, the first game ever in the Georgia Dome. They threw a bomb on their first series for a touchdown, and it felt the exact same way against Green Bay in the NFC Championship game.
It opened in 92, and you're right, it finishes in dramatic fashion. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Ryan. He goes underneath to Freeman. It's a gain of 7, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Finding Gabriel complete. And he's going to have the 1st down, yardage to the 35.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the 1st down. And that's what he just did. Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Now it's Ryan. And Jones has it over the middle. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down, executed it to perfection. The Pro Bowl wideout Julio Jones is intended receiver.
Brandon, one thing we run into in sports all the time is people discussing whether teams achieved all that they can achieve. And for the Atlanta Falcons in recent years, I think a lot of people thought they were underachievers. They erased that with this year's playoff run to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, last year had the hot start to the... Ryan hit, and he lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Getting it out left side to Sanu. A first Sanu, 4 seasons in Cincinnati where he never won a playoff game. Now in Atlanta, off to the Super Bowl.
It's a nice change for him, isn't it? And it's the one that every player is looking for when they change franchises. And for him to do that his first year in Atlanta, but he also brings a lot of life out wide as a receiver. And then how about when he does the changeup as a Wildcat quarterback and can carry it inside?
Yeah, just an extra component to an already powerful Atlanta offense. Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart.
Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And this one is right down Broadway. And they take a 17-14 lead. So they kick it through to take the lead. There is a little bit of time left, though, here in the 2nd quarter.
And while they're concerned about not giving up a big return or giving up points themselves going into the half, how good do they feel, though, putting points on the board themselves right near the end of the first half?
The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
He's going to air one out. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jalen Collins. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Here's Eric Weems now on the return. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So out come the Falcons now. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Touchdown, Falcons. Devontae Freeman, his second touchdown of the afternoon.